Hello, beautiful souls. How are you today? It is 2/2/23. Um, we have had a lot of solar flashes, a lot of energies coming in, a lot of all of those that are connected to source and their guides are getting the same message that I will be speaking about today. And you can verify this by just doing a simple YouTube search for Ascension Journey or just Ascension and see how many people have recorded content in the last couple of weeks on Ascension. So, to preface a lot of what I'm going to say today, I really started the Ascension journey a couple years ago. Things in my personal journey for truth, it inevitably led me down that path. And I didn't know at the time that, I mean, I had heard of the concept of ascension, but it was like very far off. I couldn't really comprehend what we were actually speaking about. And over time, it came clearer and clearer. And then I was healed, and my chakra blockages were removed, and I was able to have a really good communion and communication with my higher self. And so I was activated. My DNA really started to activate that latent DNA, and my abilities came online, and everything started happening, and all the pieces of the puzzle fell into place for me. And then I took what I learned and I started sharing it. And so that's been the path for a lot of us, right? So I speak about ascension probably in, every video that I do because it's just part of the journey. It's a huge part of the journey. And but the message from source when I asked what was my next video content, what it didn't need to be about for the collective, and I got ascension. And I thought, I didn't question, but I thought, okay, so like what part of ascension? Ascension update? No. Ascension for new people just waking up. So today's video is going to be like we're going to travel back in time a little bit. I'm going to go back to some of the key things that really stood out to me in my aha moments. Okay. So when you're starting to wake up, and I'm gonna show some images, and I'm gonna do a little bit of reading from the Sophia code, because that's where a lot of the real explanations come from. Not, I would not call it opinions, because at this point in my life, I've been able to ask Mother Sophia using my pendulum, using my claircognizant, and got answers that verified what I really, really resonated with in the Sophia code. So there's going to be some share screen happening. You guys probably know I'm not the best at technology, but just bear with me. This is definitely something that Source has put out to a lot of his leaders. So like I said, if you did a simple YouTube search on Ascension, you'd get a lot of new content popping up, because a lot of us have been receiving that download and receiving that as a message that needed to be spoke about. So without further ado, let's start the share screen business. And this is just an image I found for Mother Sophia, creatrix of all life. And a lot of people say, why do you call God source? Because I now know that a lot of religions use God, but their intent is God of the underworld, not God, source creator. So for me and light workers in general, I would say we speak of Father creator, Father source, source creator. That is our God. That is God. That is the God. Okay. And then Mother Sophia is also source. So you have the ultimate divine union of Father God and Mother Sophia. Mother Sophia is the creatrix of all life. She is the portal of life. She is the creator of life. Father God is the creator of all things. So they're the divine union. They are nothing without each other. And that is what we believe. That is what we have seen proof of. So some of the passages I'm going to read, a lot of the passages I'm going to read are just straight out of the Sophia Code. Some of the information in the Sophia Code, because it was channeled, does have some cognitive dissonance in it. Use your discernment. Anything that just doesn't sound exactly right to you, ask your higher self. You'll get it. You'll get a straight answer. It doesn't mean that the bulk of the information in this book is not accurate, because I've asked many questions many times, and a lot of it is very, very on point. The one divine mother, creatrix of all life. Yes, I am one source light, pointed by the innumerable names for God within all spiritual revelation. I am every name of God, and I am also that which is beyond a name for God. For any title can only point to a quality of my ineffable mysteries. You can call me the source. You can call me the Sophia. You can call me she who has no name, for I am that which is within all names, including Holy Father. The one divine mother creatrix of all life. I am that I am. Sophia declares the Sophia Code is within you. For the purpose of this living transmission, I have ordained the name of the divine genome to be known as the Sophia Code. There is a gene in the Sophia Code of our Oversoul's DNA for every holy quality that I am. Our dormant DNA is being activated. The Sophia Code is a seeded name that awakens your soul's memory. The name catalyzes your awareness to intuitively seek out your divine inheritance within the universe of your DNA. The Sophia Code calls forth the initiates of the global community of lightworkers to self-activate their divine genome and co-create this movement for human sovereignty. Now I'm going to pause right there. My message that really downloaded to me a few days ago was taking our power back, reclaiming our sovereignty, finding our voice, find the truth, do your research. When you find it, share it, speak it, be the truth, because there's so much lies and deception around us. We have to really, really be the truth, right? And so I find the synchronicities, and I found them back then as important as any other piece of information. The Sophia Code global network of self-actualized masters are destined to activate a multitude of hearts and minds, ministering to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear for the fulfillment of this prophecy. The Sophia Code is a living transmission that I am broadcasting to your awareness through the Codex. Beyond understanding the power of my presence is now simultaneously speaking to every dimension of your body, heart, and mind. As you read my living words, I am nurturing and preparing your heart to radically expand into the unlimited depths of our shared divine nature and perfect union. The Sophia Code is my love letter to your soul. The Sophia Code is a living text. Every word creates a highly attuned, unified quantum field for you to explore the divine qualities of your true self. After the great fall of Atlantis, my hidden Sophia lineages spiraled out from Egypt to Tibet, stretching from India to France, and eventually passed from the shores of Avalon to the Americas. With the great fall of Atlantis, humanity chose in its free will to explore the polarities of spiritual oppression for thousands of years of patriarchal rule. Many ages have passed since I have been revealed and revered as the one Sophia source. The divine feminine, my true expression of the divine masculine, were persecuted into relative silence. Over these ages, many of my hidden lineages and ancient mystery schools would each reflect aspects of my Sophia consciousness, but a lack of global communication systems prevented these spiritual pathways from unifying as a whole cosmology. Every hidden Sophia lineage did its best to maintain its individual representation of the living transmission that I am, to one day be shared that it is now. Over the course of your current life, you may have felt magnetically drawn to explore various mystical paths, to recall your other lifetimes in service to the hidden lineages, including the religious sciences of India, Tibet, and Egypt, Taoism, Sufism, Gnostic Christianity, Kabbalism, and the indigenous ceremonial arts, are to name but a few. I share the blueprint of my hidden lineages to mirror a map within your DNA of all the lifetimes you have lived in earnest preparation for the one. You may have lived out many incarnations in service to the light and the Sophia Code for over 30,000 years of humanity's polarized exploration in spiritual enlightenment and oppression. You are now reading this text for the important reason is that you are finally ready to receive the truth of your sovereign divinity and to cast off the deliberate forgetting and hiding of your true nature. In other lifetimes, your socially conditioned spiritual service to many of these hidden Sophia lineages may have involved taking oaths and vows to deliberately forget or hide the truth of our shared divine nature, and or taking oaths and vows to suffer or die for defending the truth of our shared divine nature. My seated golden age of miracles is here now. I speak directly about your soul service in other lifetimes because it is time to release yourself from all the vows and oaths you swore to protect, the secret, the Sophia code within humanity. And although all these intentions were well-meaning, I never needed to be defended. I have to pause sometimes in recording because I get emotional, and I find that it's just a lot to come to terms with, even though I've read it before. That passage, I never needed to be defended. It really, so many people fight over defending the name of God, right? And I don't say that that's wrong. But when I read this, for me, it meant that instead of defending the name, the bigger request, if you can use that term from source, was to be remembered and shared, not defended. And that's beautiful, right? I am the power of undefended love. My almighty presence is all that is. This living transmission is a sanctuary for you to lay down your spiritual judgment, sacrifices, and weapons for another age so that you may finally rest in, reveal, and celebrate the sovereignty of your true self and our shared invincible nature. It is safe for the living master within you to finally be revealed through our undefended divine love. It is vitally important that you give yourself permission to shine in this lifetime. For all of social conditioning to be seen for who you really are, we are one. So in this book, there are key code activations of the dragon tribe, the Sophia dragon tribe. And the key activations are Isis, Hathor, Green Tara, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Magdalene, White Buffalo Woman, and a planetary key code 777 of all the Sophia dragons. They are the ascendant masters of the Sophia dragon tribe. As you integrate each ascendant master's visionary beauty way teaching, the Sophia code will activate within your DNA. These activations catalyze your human awareness to progressively operate in alignment with your higher self. The ascendant masters of the Sophia dragon tribe are my ordained mentors for embodying the Sophia Christ light within you. By choosing to read this book, you are authorizing your higher self to align with the ever-present support of the Sophia dragon tribe. My high council orchestrates the necessary miracles that your human awareness and body need for this lifetime's ascension. As you open to receive the living transmission of my one voice, you will hear me speak through many key codes of the Sophia dragon tribe. I invite you to consider that every ascendant master in this high council is guiding you to also remember yourself as a unique key code of the Sophia code. The Sophia code cosmology is my luminous mirror for the innumerable unique expressions in which I am always revealing to you that we are one. My messengers are many, yet they are only ever saying, I love you. You are free. You are me. We are one. It is safe to remember and reveal who you really are. So I'm going to pause there and say, I've got many, many videos. I'm going to link some of them in the description box of this video, because as I started, I was always led to touch on teachings of the Ascendant Masters and how I was divinely downloaded how the importance of the Schumann resonance and that elevation of coronal mass energy that comes to us is directly activating the DNA of your Sophia code, that latent DNA. As that exposure to that energy activates your DNA. It's been done over waves. You can go back and look at the Schumann resonance. They have a 24-hour tracker on it now. It's been done over waves, and it comes in waves, and it gives you time to activate some, integrate the activation, heal, and then another wave comes. You activate more, you integrate the activation, and another wave comes. And so it is a process. It is a journey. It is not a checkbox. It's not a checklist. Okay, so this is a all the more reason why your ascension journey, once you decide that this is the right thing for you, because you do have free will choice, and whether you're a starseed or not, anyone and anyone can choose this a journey. But it should be part of your daily routine, because there's so many other daily routines that we have that do not serve our soul, that do not serve us in a positive way, and actually cause us disservice. And so it's actually a natural trajectory. Once you go down this path and once you start learning, it changes you. It changes you for the better, and you naturally gravitate toward things that are better for you in your life. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna link some of those videos, and I'm not the only one speaking about it. If I don't resonate with you, or you find, I find that we have a lot of different takes on the same messages. So I don't watch just one person. I don't just listen to myself talk. I do my research, and I go and I look at all sorts of different content, and I read and I research, and I do all sorts of things. And so I invite you to explore that for yourself too. Don't just take what I'm saying to heart, unless you have found it to be true in your soul. Anchoring your Sophia Christ light on earth. The Sophia Code operating system is designed to accelerate your emotional, mental, and physical ascension in progressive steps of radical transformation, quantum self-realization, and embodied self-mastery. When your higher self activates the Sophia Code operating system, you will experience accelerated releases of socially conditioned belief systems and viral programming that have discredited your innocent divine nature. Your higher self runs the Sophia Code operating system to progressively override and transmute the following: your inherited ancestral belief patterns, traumatic cellular imprints, your projected self-limitations, vows and oaths from other lifetimes, and the collective fears of humanity's consciousness that are stored in your carbon-based DNA. The Sophia Code operating system creates an interface for your higher self step-by-step guidance system to lead your awareness to the most integrative and direct path for releasing these illusionary beliefs in both your inner and outer reality. These releases create an accelerated path of soul initiations for embodying your sovereignty as directed by your higher self. The Sophia Code operating system has successfully installed a tipping point of new belief systems that accurately reflect your divine nature to your human awareness. The quantum space expands within your body, heart, and mind. That expansion creates more quantum space within you to accept life-changing downloads of your higher self-consciousness that are then anchored within every cell of your body. As you embody these increasing downloads of your higher self-consciousness, your human awareness becomes flooded with the light and omniscient awareness of your oversoul. Your oversoul is your own Sophia Christ itself, made in the image and likeness of Sophia, blessed and endowed with all the same immaculate qualities of her consciousness, with an infinite ability to create the world of form. It is here that the true journey of your embodied self-mastery begins. For what unlimited realities of heaven on earth will you create with your omniscient divine power activated in human form? A quantum vehicle for embodied ascension. When you embody your divinity within form, you discover the true purpose of spiritual ascension. 1, to know, love, and honor the holy and limitless nature of all form. 2, to know, love, and honor the empty space that is the essential nature of all form. 3, to understand your sovereign relationship to both form and emptiness as a divine co-creator of new realities. 4, to accept and receive both form and formless as equal teachers, professing a unified field of divine love. Perceiving the absolute divinity of your humanity, as well as the holiness of all form, can only be accomplished through the direct knowing vehicle of your own body. Your body is the one and only vehicle for you to experience that direct knowing within a world of form. The Sophia Code within you includes the inherited divine gene for immortality that can only be activated by completely inhabiting your body. Activating your immortality gene opens up the possibility that you may take your body with you into the light realms beyond this incarnation. Directly experiencing the sovereign power that you are given over the seeming death of your body reverses all socially conditioned programs designed to deny the truth of your unstoppable divine nature. Your precious physical body is the alpha and the omega vehicle for revealing your sovereign divine nature to your human awareness, as historically exemplified by the yogic Christ masters of your planet. Your personal journey to experience this height of spiritual ascension can unfold over many lifetimes and also be re-experienced in multiple forms. That is to say, experiencing the deathless transition of taking your body into the higher light realms, which is a radical revelation of embodied ascension, does not have to happen all at once in this lifetime. Yet we are delighted to reveal that in this age of miracles, activating the Sophia Code within you can guide you to everything you need for a fully embodied ascension within this lifetime if you believe that it is so. However you choose to experience the depth and breadth of your divine human potential, activating the Sophia Code genome within your essential for fulfilling your soul's unique ascension goals and embodying your Sophia Christ light in this lifetime. You are here to integrate and reveal the master who is already shining within you. Walking the way to prepare the way ahead of you. Your magnetism to a mentor within us is a strong indication that you are now training to be recognized as a living master on earth, to serve creation as we do, in the fulfillment of embodying your own key code. So for me, when I read through the Sophia Code the first time, I had heard of some and not all of the Ascendant Masters in the Sophia Code. And my mind thought I would identify with and relate with Magdalene more, but I was wrong. I identify and resonate with Kuan Yin, and her activation I have done a couple of times. I did it prior to being healed and activated, and then I did it again after. And she walked in, and she's been with me ever since. And I just love her. Inspired by your favorite Ascendant Master Teacher, you may mentor with the same key code across eons of evolution. You may loyally travel from one planetary system to another to learn the Sophia Code from a key code's teaching transmission within a variety of environments and evolutionary circumstances. Know that it is our great joy to guide you along this direct path of accelerated soul initiations. In our work together, we continually invite you to embrace your current journey of ascension, free from goals of leaving the earth plane before your appointed hour. The way is a journey to become joyfully and hopefully embodied within the present moment of your physical reality, not by escaping it. From the 0 point of total presence, there is no higher realm to ascend to. For you have become the heavenly vibrational reality that you came to express on earth as your own unique key code embodiment. We intimately know the labyrinth of soul initiations that you are currently navigating in order to fully embody your higher self by activating the Sophia Code within your human form. As your overlighting mentors and family of light, we went ahead of you to complete our soul initiations and embody our sovereignty, to passionately prepare the way for your own success. A key code mentor relationship is also a quantum learning container for generating self-confidence in your own ability to activate the Sophia Code within you. Your higher self already exists here with us. Therefore, we transmit from your future reality how possible it is and how good it feels to successfully activate your own divine genome. We create a constant sanctuary of unconditional support in which you can safely explore the power of your own holy nature to command miracles. There is no greater motivational force in the universe than the primordial space of Mother. Our divine feminine Christ blueprint is designed to awaken humanity from its addiction to suffering, which is rooted in an agonizing belief that humanity is irreconcilably separated from its original mother. Therefore, humanity's collective prayer for this next golden age is to surrender and reconcile with unconditional love of Sophia, whose presence has never left you. Sophia is the one self, and there is no greater teacher in reconciliation than she. Every complementary force of nature that humanity has polarized through duality exists harmoniously within Sophia's whole self. Therefore, Sophia's grace is a fluid dialogue that includes both divine feminine and divine masculine rays of consciousness, speaking as both a unified voice as well as individuated polarities that can only exist within the empty space of oneself. We pronounce that Sophia is the Christ within all incarnated bodies and the vessel of every form that carries her Holy Spirit is the Christed form. Therefore, we are each the body of Christ, returning again and again to the worlds of light and form to proclaim her holy grace and sovereignty that exists within all, according to the Sophia code given to all in equal measure. So that's going to be all I'm going to read from that. Again, I totally invite you to pick up a copy of the Sophia code and give it a read or two. There's really good, like I said, really good information in there. And for me, it was good on a different level. For a while, it was good just in the way that it felt, and then in another way, it kind of was a catalyst to some downloads. Once I was activated, I felt different things, and I processed things differently. So yeah, I'm going to share screen again. Okay. So this is ascension of consciousness, 3D to 4D to 5D. So 3D, our planet's density was 3D, and we were all raised in a 3D environment, and it's a very dense environment, very heavy. And so common characteristics of your consciousness when you are in a 3D environment is that you are really driven by your ego. And that is something that has to get under control. I call it taming, ego taming. Service to self. You think about what you're going to do and all your actions. Your first thought is, how is this going to affect you? You live in a duality state. It's you, it's us and them. It's very few concepts of oneness, of unity. Polarization. So you are polarizing negative or you're polarizing positive, good versus evil. And there's always clashes, right? Whenever you have dueling polarities. There are labels. So there's the elite, the celebrities, the blue collar, white collar, redneck, like all these labels, right? And so words have power, words have meaning. And a little bitty child that hasn't even begun to explore what their life potential is being raised in the mountains of West Virginia. And it's going to be labeled a redneck and could be one of the most brilliant Christ-centered beings on the planet. And so labels matter. Separatism, control. We know about the control group. Rules and rules and rules upon rules. Rules that birth new rules. Status. Everybody's worried about how many likes and shares they get, how many friends they have on Facebook, how many followers they have on Instagram. Materialism. That's the attachment to the matrix, is what you'll hear me say often. And it's materialism. So it's things that really don't matter. And we all have to go through that as we ascend. The things mean less and less to us. Hardworking. And it's because, not that hardworking is bad. This is, you feel that hard work and working hard and then working harder is all you can do to be successful. That's how you define success, because it's what we're taught. Linear thinking. So a perfect example of linear thinking is you are told that you have to graduate high school to be anything. So you graduate high school. And then before you graduate high school, you're told, well, you have to go to college, because if you don't go to college and get a degree, you can't get a decent job. So you decide to go to college. And then you get about to graduate college, and then they say, well, you need to get your master's degree, because if you don't, then you're going to be in entry-level positions the rest of your life. You're never going to be able to climb the corporate ladder or whatever, And so it's this, you got to do A to get to B, and you got to do B to get to C. There's no way you can get to D, which is success, happiness, all the things, without doing A, B, C, right? So that linear thinking. Fear and lower emotions. So you were raised in a fear-based society, especially if you are a religion follower. All religions took something really meant to be good and empowering and inverted it to take your power away and give the power to the person in the pulpit. And they control you with fear-based ideology and indoctrinations. So you can't get to heaven if you're not giving 100% of your energy, your time, you're tithing, you're this and you're that. And you have to give, and it still might not be enough. And that's just not true. Cause and effect. Victim mentality. So they love the 3D matrix world, loves to have victim mentality, because as long as there's victims, there's causes. And as long as there's causes, there's fear-based thinking, and there's separatism and labels and control, and it just feeds into the whole 3D thing. So if you've been on the planet dealing with all the shit we've been dealing with for the last little while, you may no longer really fit into that 3D category. And honestly, if you're watching me, you probably don't. But you may have people in your circle, you may have people in your world that are inherently good people, and they just haven't been able to step off the hamster wheel yet. So this is going to be maybe some tools that you can put in your toolbox to where you are able to help them. So when you go from 3D to 4D, that's kind of whenever you're tipping your toe into what reality could be, when you no longer buy into the line that they've been feeding us. You have a conscious being. So you're now getting in tune to your consciousness, and you're feeling right and wrong. You're no longer being told what's right and what's wrong. You're feeling it in your gut, and you're kind of exploring what that feels like. You're challenging old beliefs. That's definitely part of it, where all of a sudden you think, this doesn't really make any sense. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. What if I stop doing the same thing over and over again? Oh, wow. Yeah, that feels a lot better. I no longer feel like my energy is being sucked out of me and I get nothing in return. So seeking answers, that was me. I wanted truth. I didn't care if it hurt. I can respect the truth. I can't respect a lie. I've said that my entire time on this planet, this lifetime. That has been my mantra. And I have in search of truthful people, honest people my whole life, failing miserably for the most part, but no longer, because once you find truth, you want the next piece of truth. And once you accept the truth, even if it dispels everything you were told, all it does is for me, all it did was let me know that stuff is not to give my energy to. I'm giving my energy to the truth. That is where I give my focus. They no longer get any part of me. That is me setting my boundary and taking my sovereignty and my power back. They no longer get that of me. They will no longer get me buying into that BS. You have a better, deeper understanding of everything, really. You see through the matrix, and you really can find the truth. You become more and more aware of connection to positive people and how it feels to be around negative people. And you start to align with that purpose. You start to do what feels good. You just gravitate toward it unknowingly. You may start having some remembering of past lives or things that you didn't consciously seek knowledge of in this life. So it came from a prior life. Synchronicity is huge. You start to recognize that there are no coincidences, that things are happening in your life because Source Creator and Mother Sophia has sacred geometry and synchronicity weaved through the fabric of our lives to help us recognize that our being, that we are a soul having a earthly experience. And there's more to it than that. Flexible reality, faster manifestation, and you're more connected. So then most people that I know that I deal with, we're 4D, 5D. And some, it's more on one side than the other, but it depends on what you're doing and where you are in the world on how much in the 5D you can be, because the world hasn't flipped yet. We still have to deal with evil people. We still have to deal with some darkness. We still have to, use platforms that aren't necessarily fully supportive of what we're talking about, or financial systems or education systems or government systems. So, but it's moving in a different direction, and we can choose that positive light. So 5D, unity consciousness. So the ego goes away. I call it an ego death. Does your ego actually die? No. It's that the ego is an implant. It's a parasite, and it just does things for itself. It's like a tumor. It does things for its own growth, satisfaction, and well-being, and has no regard for the host, the body that it's in. So you get away from that, and you realize that ego stuff has only dealt you negative outcomes and pain and trauma and heartache. And you're more unity consciousness. You're aligned with the divine. And so you have a newfound respect for all God's creations and all of life. You're heart-centered. You're getting away from the brain, because the brain has been so heavily manipulated. And you're really starting to lead with your heart and your gut, because that really can't be manipulated so well. I know for a time I thought I cannot trust my heart, because I kept repeating the process of being with people that were no good for me, and I remember physically saying, God, what lesson am I not learning here? And I wasn't following my gut. My gut was what I should have been following the whole time. Connectedness and high frequencies, authenticity, activated senses. So as you ascend, and ascension is a state of being. It is not a place on the map or in the cosmos. As you ascend, you're doing things with a different consciousness. So you are Christ-centered. Your compassion and kindness and empathy is elevated. You see things differently, and the biggest frequency producers are love and gratitude. And so you may be single, you may be divorced, you may be widowed. You still have the ability to love. And the one most important being that you need to love is yourself. You have to love yourself and forgive yourself of all the decisions that you feel like you made that were not so great for you. Because in reality, those things didn't happen to you. They happened for you to learn lessons. And now you're learning the lesson. And the next biggest frequency boost creator that you can have, that feeling, the emotion, is of gratitude. And so you are gracious for that lesson that was taught to you. You are grateful that you survived the divorce. You're grateful that you survived the affair. You're grateful that you survived the abuse. You're grateful that you recognize the lesson in trusting that person at work that stabbed you in the back, and you grew from it, and you don't harbor ill will or ill intent toward them. You genuinely are grateful for that experience. Your senses being activated means that your abilities are online. So you're feeling, your claircognizant, your clairsentient, your body is telling you what's good and what's bad. And you're recognizing it and following it. And that's giving you a payoff. Source information, source God information, Mother Sophia information. Whatever is connected to source is what we gravitate toward. Abundance. We redefine what abundance is, and success. Success is a different meaning now. Success for me has nothing to do with things. It has nothing to do with homes or cars or bank account balances or anything like that. Success for me is connecting with my ground crew, helping to coach their ascension, coach them in how to communicate through their pendulum, or how to process do their shadow work, and how to deal with the reversing the indoctrination that many of us have gone through, raised up in religious society. That's success for me. So I measure my success on a daily basis. Unconditional sharing. I'm not proprietor of any of this information. This came through multiple sources, but all from one source. And as long as I'm connected to source, I share as much as the recipient is willing to take from me. Guided and supported. We are all guided and supported. We are no longer feeling alone. We feel very connected to our soul family. And we know that while we were made to be oppressed and feel like we were the only person that felt that way, and if we felt a certain way, we were never going to get anywhere in life. And now we see that's the exact opposite. Feeling our way through life with a Christ consciousness and source connected being, way of thinking, actually guides us to more support and more love and more compassion and things that are really make you feel good inside. And how many people can say that are in that 3D column? You find that things are no longer a struggle, that there's a flow to your life where things in the 3D column felt more of a force, like you were just gonna hell bent and determined you were gonna make this happen no matter what. Well, if you're fighting that hard to make something happen, it's not meant to be for you. If you're fighting that hard to make a relationship happen, it's not meant to be for you. That person is meant to fall away from you because they're not in your highest and best good. So things that are of the light and from source in your highest and best good will just flow into your path, and you will see and recognize it as a blessing. I know it is a lot. It's a lot, but think about what we're dealing with in the day-to-day right now. And I invite you to get the hell off of Twitter, Facebook, like check in and check out. Do not live there, because there are a lot of people there just to stir chaos, just to stir divisiveness, dissension, to make people feel like they are alone and there is no hope. And that, first of all, the savior of you is you. No one's going to come over here and scoop me up and say, okay, today you're saved and everything's going to be great from now on. That's not how it works. I had to do the work. I had to work through all my shit. I had to unpack all my years and years of boxes of trauma and pain and disappointment in myself and in others. And I had to work through all that. And only then did I see a return on that investment. If you are not brave enough to work through your shadow work and you're escaping by diving headfirst into somebody else's crusade on social media, you're not helping yourself. If you're not willing to help yourself, why would anybody be willing to help you? Okay, that's like filling water into an empty pot, a pot with a hole in the bottom. It's never going to get full. You have to love yourself enough to forgive yourself. And when you forgive yourself and learn the lesson from whatever shit you went through, whatever pain and turmoil you went through, and there's another step of forgiveness, isn't there? And once you're there, you no longer have the burden of that and it's gone. That's the alchemy. That's where you turn the lead that has been weighing you down into gold. And gold shines. And gold is beautiful. And gold is a source of energy. And you feel it. That transmuted lead to gold helps you more than anything. And who can do that for you? You can do that for you. Let's see. I want to talk about ascension symptoms. Okay. There's another screen I'm going to put up. The ascension symptoms really vary. I know, you know, for a lot of people, it's not that bad anymore. And for some people, they are really knocked down. So let's go through some of these. Signs you're going through a spiritual ascension, mood swings. Now, I wouldn't say I really had a lot of mood swings, but I can see because, you know, you're waking up to realize that all that you thought was real is a lie and having to redefine reality. Decrease or increase in appetite. I definitely had a decrease in appetite while my system really gravitated toward a healthier balance. And so for me, I was doing a lot of intermittent fasting, months and months, and I felt great. I needed it. My body needed it. And I listened to my body. And then I got away from most animal protein and did a lot of detoxing. So salt baths and heavy metal detox, bentonite clay, that kind of stuff. Lucid dreams. So what we now know, and I was going through this, I kept having some, you know, I had some dreams and I definitely felt like there was messages that were coming through, but I really thought they were an actual dream. So now I know dreams are either a vision or a memory. You're either being given a vision of something that's happening on a dual timeline. You know, we live in 12 different dimensions in the same timeline, or it's a memory of something that you've done. Sometimes it's what you're doing in the night. You know, your physical form lays down to rest and your consciousness goes and we're, you know, in the astral, we're on our ship, we're whatever. So it depends on who you are, but those dreams are going to always have meaning. Randomly waking up between 3 and 5. OMG. So for like 2 years, I woke up between 3 and 5 every single morning. I thought my first husband, he died in 1994, and I thought it was him coming to visit me, but he had not really done that in a very, very long time. And then I really started to learn about ascension and ascension symptoms, and I realized that I was waking up at 3 to 5 because I was getting messages, but I was getting messages from multiple divine sources. Hot flashes. So I was having tons and tons and tons of hot flashes because I had cancer in 2009, 2010. And, you know, so I had all my parts removed. And so I had a lot of bad hot flashes for a very, very long time. But actually, in the last year, my hot flashes are gone. So, yay. I got to a point where I had burned off all the old stuff. That's basically the symbology of the hot flashes, that you're purging. It's another way to purge old beliefs and trauma and memories that are kind of stored in your system. Seeing angel numbers. So if you don't know what angel numbers are, you can find them in a Google search. You can find them on Pinterest. You can find all sorts of things. But it's 111 222 444 777, that kind of stuff. Reminiscing about the past. So you do get a bit nostalgic, but sometimes it's that you're recognizing the synchronicity of something that's happening right now, and you're tying it to something that happened in the past you didn't understand. And now all of a sudden today it really makes sense, and you realize that was not a coincidence. You become sensitive to others' energy, very much so. I found this really, really, really a thing in the last 2 years or so. And it was one of the main reasons why I had to leave my profession. Because I learned that as my frequency was increasing, as I was ascending, and my energy was clearer, and I'm more in alignment with source, my light body, my light was brighter. And so I wanted to be around like beings, but I was really surrounded by a lot of energy suckers. They wanted what I had. They would suck the life out of me. That happened a lot. And so it got to where I would put a pink bubble around me before I went into work. And it worked so great because I protected my energy field with that pink bubble, and it repelled people that were not of good intentions, and only people that had good intentions could really come into my space. It was amazing, but it only worked it's not a miracle, but it does work to a certain degree in your energy field. Loss of ego. This is how you know you're really doing the right things. You're taking the right steps, and I would say increased empathy goes hand in hand with that. So when you start to lose your ego, you're really become more in service to others and self. So that increases your empathy. So you no longer worry about what people think about you or what they say about you or their impression of you. You really care. The meat of it is that, are they good people? Are they good intentioned? Because if they're good intentioned, they recognize the good intention in you. And it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what shirt you wear. It doesn't matter what shoes you wear. It doesn't matter what clothes you wear, what car you drive, what house you live in. They are interested in you for you. And in turn, you're interested in good people because they're good people, not because they offer you some material object. You reduced fear of death. So you definitely understand on this path that we are soul beings having an earthly existence. This is temporary. This life down here and this body that we're in is temporary. Our soul is constant, and our soul has lived many, many, many lives. And whenever you realize that, you know that death is really an illusion. Because who we are is in our soul. Our soul carries our energy. Our soul carries our true essence. And so the body dies, but who you are can't die, because we are energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transmuted. So you no longer fear death. And you realize also that you're in communion with Source Creator, and you have your ascendant masters and your angels come in and your guides, and they've been with you all along. And the only hell that exists is in nowhere that you're going to go, because you're on the ascension path and you're of the light. You're good to go. So that fear mongering that a lot of us get, especially through religion, completely crumbles at that point. They no longer have that power over you. changes in lifestyle, I think that goes along with all these things, because you will gravitate toward what feels good and in situations that feel good. And I know a prime example for me was, I stopped doing things with people that really were energy suckers and were not a good intention, because I had to recover from choosing to spend time with them, and it wasn't worth it. There was not a payoff. Again, that was me deciding that I am worthy of protection, that I deserve to preserve my energy, that I work really hard to get there, and unapologetically enforcing that boundary to preserve my energy is part of taking your power and your sovereignty back. And you become more aware because you feel it. So once you're here and you get centered, you're Christ centered, and you start to do the shadow work, and you start to clear out the blockages, and you get the implants removed, and you no longer are full of etheric daggers and hooks and bindings and curses and black goo and all kinds of crap that happens to us being in the matrix. Once you're clear of all that, you feel so light. You're not weighed down by all this negativity and darkness. And so you want to preserve that. And that's how it's real easy. People say, oh, I can never do those things. Yeah, you can. You do it without even thinking about it, because you're following the path of ascension. Your body is pulled in that direction. So a lot of people, when I first started my YouTube channel, I started my YouTube channel because Source was telling me very loudly to start a YouTube channel. I'm not the only one he's done that to. There's been many, many people that have been guided to do that. And amen for that, right? Thank goodness for that, because that's how we have come to find the truth. Otherwise, and be able to spread it. Now, I don't have a huge following, but I can tell you that the people that do watch me, they have a really strong connection to me, or they're like repelled by me. And that's the first sign that you're either meant to be here or this is not your message, right? I do ask that everyone share this, especially because it's got some basic ascension tools, in it. With your friends, share it whatever platform you're on, share it on Facebook, share it wherever you can contact people that may not run across this information in their day-to-day. And then they can just free will choice, decide for themselves. You say, it's just some interesting information. Thought you might be, want to look it over, whatever. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I don't really ask for that ever, and I probably should. I would have more people that could get the message out, but I've just been so target focused on putting out the most accurate, truthful information, source guided information, and I just always forget that side of it. But that is how we get the message out, and that is the ultimate goal, is to get the truth out to as many people as possible. So let's say you're on your ascension path, and things are going great, and then you're like, man, my ears are they're ringing so loud I can hardly hear myself think. Or I am so dizzy I can hardly stand up. Okay, well that's all good things. Those are ascension symptoms that a lot of people have. Mine were I remember 2 times specifically. I don't have the dizziness so much anymore, but I have the ear ringing a lot. And the dizziness for me last May was so bad that I fell a couple of times. And I was like, good thing I'm not drinking anymore, because people would think I was a lush. But it was ascension symptoms. And I didn't know at the time, because we learn as we go along in this journey. I didn't know at the time I could ask my higher self to ease my ascension symptoms with love and grace, mercy and grace. But now I know. So now I'm sharing that with you. If you're having ascension symptoms, which can be dizziness, ear ringing, headache, nausea, fatigue, aches and pains, you feel some aches in your chakras sometimes, and it becomes a burden, it becomes too much, or dangerous even. I mean, I could have hurt myself falling, but I was on the beach twice. And then once I don't know where I was, but anyway, there was some furniture and I fell on that. So you can say, you know, my higher self, please ease my ascension symptoms, and you name which one is really bothering you, with ease and grace, with mercy and grace. And I've never had a request go unanswered. And so your dizziness and ear ringing, vision changes, headaches, something like that, that's your third eye opening. A lot of ascension symptoms happen in the upper chakras. You can have some chest pain, not heart attack chest pain, but just like pinpoint, like muscle, kind of soft tissue chest pain. I have that a lot too. When I'm receiving energy, transmission, like from the ship, my heart feels like I'm having palpitations. I feel that for sure. But at any time that you're having the ascension symptoms, number one, it's a good sign that you're doing the right things, right? And number two, you don't have to suffer. This is not, that is a falsity. No one needs to suffer in order to look more, I don't know, holy in the eyes of the Lord. That is a total religion thing. You don't need to suffer. You take it to whatever extreme you can take it, and then you say, that's enough. I've had enough. If you're waking up too much, so for me, I was waking up 3 to 5 every single day. I didn't know at the time, but I was doing the right thing. I was just following my gnosis, my inner knowing. So about every 3 or 4 days, I would say, I'm not sure what all I'm doing at night when I'm sleeping, but I'm really tired and I would love a night off. And that night I would sleep like a baby and sleep all the way through. And so I knew I was being heard and my request was being honored. Now I know. So we do a lot in the astral. I'm a star blossom, they call it. I'm no longer a starseed, I'm blossom. And so when we want to break from the work that we're doing in the astral, we ask to have a night in the lounge on the ship. And so we just, you know, when our body lays down to sleep here on Earth in this realm, our consciousness can just go to the lounge on the ship. And so there's not a duel of energy happening. And we're resting on all dimensions is the way it's happening, instead of being, some people are really in tune to what your consciousness or what you're doing in a different dimension, and that can disrupt your sleep too. The diet changes are usually going to be changes in your greatest good, your highest and greatest good. Again, your ascension is guided by your higher self. Your higher self is always in alignment with source and your highest and greatest good. So there's no, they're very, very neutral. When you ask a question, you should get a yes or a no with no agenda, no manipulation, none of that. If you have some of that stuff going on, then you've got trickster spirits dealing with you, and we have to get rid of those. Let's see if I touched on everything. I'm going to put a couple of videos. So the video I did months back that linked, it was whenever I had the aha moment that the increase in this human residence coincided with activations of our latent DNA, and that together works for ascension. I'm going to link that one. And then are you missing the magic? Because the 3D matrix wants us to believe there's no such thing as miracles, and there's no such thing as a higher consciousness, and there's no such thing as intuition, and there's no such thing as magic and miracles. And there absolutely is. And so if you don't take anything else out of this video, I ask you to please, 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 please listen to your gut first, then your heart, and your brain last, because the brain is what's been manipulated the most. We have been through so much of, I mean, I'm about to be 50 in a couple of months, and my entire life, like basis of knowledge was, raised Catholic, private school, private university, military, and healthcare. I basically know nothing. That's how I felt when I came through and realized all the lies. Like, that was a tower moment for me. That was like the tower crumbled. Everything that I had tried to protect and preserve and build was based on a sandy bottom, right? It just crumbled. There was no truth to that. And now I'm rebuilding a life of substance based, anchored in Christ consciousness, and that's not going anywhere. And it's got completely different values and completely different sense of abundance and success and goals, and feel so much better. I feel free. I feel calm. I am at peace. And people around me get spun up about all this stuff, and I just know it's not even real. I'm just like, meh. So there is a path that everybody takes. It's not a race. No one gets a blue ribbon or, gold medal whenever you cross. There's not a finish line. You ascend, and your vibration, your frequency is infinite. You can be whatever you choose to be with it. You can do whatever you choose to do with it. You can get to the point of enlightenment where you are just at peace in your I am presence, and that's how you stay. And you just preserve that bubble. Or you can be like me, because I was chosen to be a leader, and I was chosen to help find my ground crew here on earth. And so I'm out there actively telling people the truth, and they hear me speak and they feel my frequency and they're drawn in. So it's up to you on what you want to do with this. But the essential journey is a free will choice. And usually once you make that first decision to step off the hamster wheel, all the good things line up. So you just have to open yourself up to the alchemy that will take place. Understand that it's not all love and light. Okay, people that are all love and light and it's blessings and it's this and that, they haven't done their shadow work. They don't know what the real deal is. I'm not saying that it's torture either, because it's not. But every single day, I learn a lesson. Sometimes those lessons are painful. Sometimes I realize that as much shadow work as I've done, there's another box back on the top shelf that I haven't dealt with yet. And it gets brought to my forefront, and I know I have to deal with it. Living in social media and different platforms and different whatever is escapism. Being in front of the TV all the time is escapism. If you really want to connect and you really want to hear source creator's message for you, and you want to hear your ascendant masters talk to you, and you want to hear your guides talk to you, you have to turn that stuff off. I was guilty of always having music in my ears. Always. It's not that I had that the music was a problem. It's that I always had music playing, so I could never hear the messages that were coming through, because they weren't louder than the voices in my ears. So I had to learn to adapt to that. And so just getting out in nature and grounding yourself to Mother Gaia, putting your feet in the dirt, in the mud, in the water, in the sand, doing whatever you can in nature, even if it's for 15 minutes, will help you immensely. And not with music in your ears, and not with an ulterior agenda. Go out there with a unconditional loving pet. They are a great source of positive energy, and you can feed off of them and they feed off of you. they absorb a lot of our crap, you know, and so we need to be able to transmute that stuff out of them too, because that's why a lot of our animals get sick, because they absorb a lot of our negative energy. The veil is literally dissipating, right? It's really gone. They say there's a tear in the veil. There's probably more than one tear. There's several tears. The majority of the veil now exists in our brain. So we just have to escape that. We have to realize that a lot of what we've been told for an agenda. It's a narrative. It's not the truth. Get out of that. Stop saying, I believe you, to the people saying, you have to believe me, because if you don't believe me, you're crazy. Turn that off. Listen to the voice inside you. You are not crazy to listen to what comes within. All the answers to save you come from within. All your guidance comes from within. Now, that being said, if you're full of distortions and you're full of blockages and you're full of etheric hooks and daggers and this and that, you might get some crazy messages because it's the darkness. We can help with that. Come find me in my Telegram group, Healing Disclosures on Telegram. We can get you cleared of all that stuff. And then you just have a clear flow of energy, of positive energy from your higher self and from Source Creator, that and your guides and your ascendant masters. And then you can glean all that wisdom. And then you still have free will choice. Your higher self is guiding you, and your higher self has your best interest at heart for you. Trust the process. Know that when we speak of solar flares and higher Schumann and whatever you are, you might see people post those Schumann images with those big gold and white flares coming in. It's good. It's all good. It's helping the ascension process. And yeah, don't miss the miracles. So please check out the other videos I have for the different ascension things. I really do talk about ascension, I think, in every video. There's some things, some early work that I did with Kathy Reed. There's a lot of ascension talk in that too. Some of the stuff I've evolved from because I've learned it's not exactly how I thought it was then, but that's the evolution and the ascension journey, right? And none of us are 100% right. Most of us are also not 100% wrong. As long as the people that you're listening to are of the light, in alignment with Source Creator, and they have a pure heart, they have good intentions. Take it, you know, what resonates with you, and leave what doesn't. Share this out. You never know, it might be the one thing that somebody keys into, and it really helps them to disconnect from the matrix and find that beautiful, loving Christ consciousness path that their soul is really pushing them to find. They just don't know how to find it. So thank you for tuning in to Healing Disclosures. I know this is a ton of information. I'm sorry, but Source is like, the collective needs it. I need you to do it. I need you to do it. So definitely share this to people that you know or just newly waking up. The ones that are just now popping head up out of the sea of sheep, and they're thinking, I think there's more to this than what they're telling us. Share my videos because there's a lot of truth in there, and hopefully it's delivered in a way that helps them and doesn't cause any more harm. So until next time, you guys have a great day. Many, many blessings to you all. Take care.